Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, quite possibly the most American bald eagle that has ever lived. Also, the U.S. Navy is running out of pants. All that and more on the way next. It is the Hudson Show from RadioU. I am joined by a special guest with me in the studio.
Hello.
NayNay is here. NayNay, I heard you were a little under the weather. You've been acting a little sick as of late. So I, in addition to the Chick-fil-A I got you, I've also come up with a little special treat for you that I hope might raise your spirits. I don't know if you've ever heard of, you know about AI and all the amazing things it can do. Did you know it can make music?
What?
AI
can make music too?
I've asked AI, specifically Suno, to make a song all about you.
Oh,
it's here.
That's so nice.
It's called NayNay's Texas Ways.
Oh, my Texas Ways.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh. Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, you get your own song. I don't even have my own song. I've never done this for me. So
wait, so is it? So do I just hit play?
Yeah, I sent it to you. Just go ahead and hit play.
Oh, NayNay's Texas Ways. Let's find out what this really has in store for us. Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Oh, look at this intro. This is
oh my gosh. When's the actual singing
I don't
coming
know.
in?
I've never had it take this long.
Okay,
it's even
here we go. Here we go.
Radio intro.
Down in Lone Star, there's a lady we know.
Lady?
NayNay spins the hits on RadioU show. Dallas Cowboys gear from her head to her toes. Ain't no fan as true as every cowboy knows. NayNay loves her Chick-fil-A and Buc-ee's too. You'll see her with a Dr. Pepper ketchup on her food, but if it's spicy, she'll pass it right on by. In Texas where it's hot, she's the cool reply.
It's nailed you so well.
This is a 4-minute song?
Except that it thinks you're a woman.
It thinks I'm a woman?
It's got everything else about you. Buc-ee's, Chick-fil-A.
She's the loudest you'll hear.
You're loud.
Cheering the Cowboys when she's ready to cheer. She might dress in blue with a star on her hat, waving at the TV. Yeah, she's doing just that. NayNay loves her Chick-fil-A and Buc-ee's too.
There's a whole nother verse and a bridge.
Pepper ketchup on her food, but if it's spicy, she'll pass it right on by. In Texas where it's hot, she's a cool reply.
You're a cool reply.
From the honk of the trucks on the I-35.
You know about the I-35?
To the heart of Texas where the barbecue is live. She'll skip the jalapenos and the fiery zest. With a sweet tea in hand, that's what she loves best.
This is criminal.
All her friends tell tales about her DJ spins. How she keeps them smiling with the song she brings. In her boots and jeans, she's a Texas queen. Her favorite thing simple as a
I hate that it thinks I'm a woman. I hate this.
Oh my gosh. It's everything else about you. It knew.
But it couldn't pick up the fact that I'm not a woman.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm glad we did this.
I'm cutting it off.
Suno.
There's like a minute and a half left of this song.
The AI is so amazing what it can do. It was so close.
It literally got so many things right, but yet just completely glossed over one of the most important facts about my entire personality.
Yeah. I guess to be fair, I didn't specify your gender in the song when I was prompting it. I didn't know I had to clarify NayNay, the male RadioU DJ. I thought that was just a given, but apparently not.
AI, do you see what happens when we assume? When we assume, we get things wrong. Let's not do that, AI. But I do love Buc-ee's, though.
I also like how it knows, like, this is AI. It knows everything about, it knows so many things. It doesn't know that we don't spin things as DJs anymore. Like we're a radio station. We don't have records that we spin.
Thank God.
Come on, AI.
Thank God we don't have records anymore.
It's 2024.
Oh
we can make computers that think. We can't. We also got rid of records, at least in radio stations.
Well, I'm still sick, and now my ego's hurt a little bit.
It's the Hudson Show. We are in the midst of useless knowledge all about toilet paper today because in your first bit of useless knowledge, you get to find out that today is National Toilet Paper Day. Your useless knowledge question of the day is, which country uses the most toilet paper in the world? Many good guesses coming in at 8772 Radio U, including India, Australia, China, France, and those are all wrong. The correct answer, which was first sent in by Adam, is the obvious one. It is the United States of America. USA, USA, we're number one with, I'm not even going to go there. We use more toilet paper than anywhere else. I believe that is a combo of our advanced sewage system compared to many other countries, being able to handle all those wads of toilet paper, and the fact that we are, for whatever reason, resistant to the adaptation of bidets. Many other countries use that. I imagine France, I think some of the countries we named, France, China, Japan, I know, huge on bidets, the luxury toilets. We don't do that here in the United States. We just keep going with the Charmin Ultra instead. And speaking of alternative methods of cleaning yourself, I've got a double do you care. For one, did you know, do you care, that in the United States until 2004, you could buy colored toilet paper at the grocery store or Walmart, wherever you like. That was a common thing, was colored toilet paper. I've never heard of that, but I found it in my toilet paper research this morning, and I looked it up, and it looks so fun. You could get kind of like the colors that they have for babies, like where it's very muted, but you could get pink, blue, green, yellow. I don't know if I would choose that one. And it looks so fun. And that's even with a frightening old school Charmin baby on the toilet paper package. Even disregarding that, it looked like a lot of fun to have colored toilet paper. I feel like we should bring it back. Why did they discontinue it? Well, because of concerns that the dyes used would have potentially on your bottom and on the environment. But more importantly, it became unfashionable. It wasn't as highly thought of by the fashion police. And so boom, there goes your colored toilet paper ever since 2004. Maybe you can find it on Amazon if you really try, but it's not as common as it used to be. Double do you care that the ancient Romans, before toilet paper was invented, would use something called a tersorium to clean themselves. That was a sponge on a stick, basically. And that was just communal. Like that was in the public bathrooms, and you'd use it and then you'd rinse it off and leave it for the next person. We could go back to that. I don't see any problems with that. Can't believe that that's how things used to be. Well, happy National Toilet Paper Day. We have all had our minds filled with a lot of useless knowledge in just this short 3 minutes. Our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown, letting you know what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. And if you saw anything recently, any movies, let me know at 8772 Radio U. Your number one movie at the box office in what proved to be a fairly slow weekend. Deadpool and Wolverine back on top. They only needed $18 million to get that number one spot. I mean, only $18 million. That'd be a lot to a lot of people. To Deadpool and Wolverine, when it's made over $500, close to $600 million so far just in North America alone. $18 million. That's a nice little, just throw it on the top of the stack. It was a close call. They narrowly beat out Alien Romulus in its second week in the box office. It made $16 million to come in at number 2. It ends with Us in its third week. Showed up at number 3 with $11 million. And then finally we get to a new release in its first weekend in the box office. It was a close call between 4 and 5. Number 4 was Blink Twice. That's the new horror movie from Zoe Kravitz. And number 5 was The Forge, which made $6 million, over $6 million. A pretty good weekend for a movie like that was in less than 2,000 theaters. Compared to, you might be wondering, Hudson, you talked about The Crow in the weekend watch list. What happened to The Crow? Yeah, what did happen to The Crow? It finished 8th It finished 8th behind Coraline, which is in its second week in a 15th anniversary re-release. And that made more money than The Crow, which is horrible news if you or anybody involved in making The Crow. That made $4.6 million and came in 8th in the box office in its very first week in theaters. No good. What did you see over the weekend? Let me know at 8772 RadioU. The only thing I watched recently as far as movies go is Twister. Not Twisters, not the new one with Glenn Powell, but no, I watched Twister, the original, which I had never seen before. And it has a great cast. But I'll tell you going into it, though. One, I was expecting not to be impressed. Two, I remember growing up, I was aware of the movie, and for some reason, I thought it was like much scarier. And I wasn't even afraid of tornadoes as a child or like growing up. Now I'm very fascinated by them, but I hope to see one from a safe distance, but also in person one day. But I was afraid of Twister. I was like, I'm not going to like Twister when I was a child because I was like, that sounds scary to me for some reason. I thought it was much scarier. Watching the movie, I mean, it's suspenseful, but you kind of, everything that happens, you're like, yeah, that's what I kind of thought was going to happen. But that said, my expectations were low. I was like, why did they make a follow-up to this movie? Why did people like this back in the 90s? Because I just don't, the people follow tornadoes and then what's going to happen? It was very well done. I was impressed. Obviously, it has some iconic scenes, the scene with the cows flying around the tornado. That is memorable to say the least. Some of the, CGI and things of that nature. I don't even know if you call it that back in the 90s. It hasn't aged as well, of course. But like 2 hours, I was locked in. I enjoyed it. Good cast. It was fun, a fun ride. Again, predictable. I am surprised, even though I enjoyed the whole thing, I'm surprised still that it was such a big hit and that it was such a big hit that they were like, 2024, let's bring back Twister. Let's make it again. But I'm actually intrigued to see the new Twisters and see if it can be better than the original. We call this Fired or Hired on the Hudson Show. Whenever you've got a workplace dilemma, we can help. Let us know at 8772 RadioU. Get ready to share some advice in this situation where we have a worker who says, I work at a restaurant near my college, and many of my coworkers, mostly international students without cars, constantly ask me for rides home after our shifts. At first, I agreed reluctantly since I'm a key holder and have to stay until close and everyone leaves anyways. However, it's become expected and no one has ever offered gas money or any other kind of compensation. A few weeks ago, I went on a 3-week trip to Japan and I have no idea how these people were getting home. But the first day I come back, me and this other girl clock out and we're walking to the door and she asks, can you drive me home? I flat out lied and said I moved 40 minutes away and I need to go home. She was shocked. I said no and started calling everyone she knew and nobody could get her. Then begged me to drive her home saying it's only 10 minutes away. Some coworkers are upset because I've lied or because I'm not taking them home anymore. And a word has spread that they think I'm lying. And I've been considered the nice one around the office or around the restaurant. Basically, at this point, I'm just tired of providing rides for everybody. Am I wrong? And what should I do from this point out? It's become expected, giving a ride to everybody at closing time, whoever needs one, and they never pay back. Devin says, you're not wrong for not wanting to give the rides, but you're a little wrong for lying about why you can't do it. The guy said that he, after returning from a trip to Japan, and instantly upon return being asked to give rides again, lied. He said that that he had moved further away, couldn't do it anymore. Devin says, just be honest that you don't want to do it. We also had someone here who says, because of the cultural differences, he should just state that he can't continue to take them home for free. Erica as well said it might be a cultural difference thing. Maybe they don't realize offering gas money is expected. A conversation could clear things up, or you could do what Rev said and just say no. Like, don't leave anything up to interpretation or whatever. If you don't want to do it, don't want to do it. But at least if you're clear and saying, hey, look, this is how we do things around here. Normally you would, pay somebody for driving you around, or they just don't do it. And then that at least gives them the opportunity, if they want, they can negotiate with you, which I don't know if you want to open up that door. Tiffany says, how do they get to work? If they can arrange that, they can arrange to get home. I feel like that's the simplest thing. What's tough is now that, like, anybody that's ever done this, you know, if you start giving away things for free, you can never start charging for them. People will hate you. Every business has probably experienced this if they've ever given something away for free. You can't all of a sudden then start charging for it. That's basically what this guy is going through. He's not going to be liked around the office or around the restaurant once he starts saying no to everybody, because he had been or charging either way. But you know what? It's up to you. What would you rather be, liked or drive somebody home every single night you ever have to work? You just have to say no. You don't even have to give an excuse. Just say, no, I can't do it anymore. And just put it to bed. Easier said than done, as are most things in Fired or Hired. Japanese airline All Nippon Airways just recently introduced their very first flight safety video in collaboration with Pokemon. It's actually a flight safety video showing you all the flight safety stuff about buckling your seatbelt and keeping your seat back and tray in the upright position, blah, blah, blah. But now it's a video with Pokemon in it. Pikachu and the whole gang. Now, at first, I thought this is silly. I thought, do they really think that people are going to pay attention more and adhere to more the safety guidelines and instructions just because they put Pokemon in a video about it? And truth is, like for many adults, probably not. But for a lot of children, and even more importantly, childish adults, this should really capture their attention. And honestly, those are probably the people that need to pay attention to these guidelines the most anyways, because they're probably the most likely to ignore them otherwise. One thing that just about everybody knows here in America is you don't mess with bald eagles. Why? Well, one, they're on the comeback trail from being endangered. Two, they can be fierce predators. And three, and most importantly, they are the symbol of America. They sum up who we are as a people. And I don't know if you saw this story that just perfectly illustrates why we had to choose bald eagles as the symbol of our great nation. Earlier this week in Missouri, wildlife officials rescued a bald eagle at Wilson's Creek National Battlefield that they believed was injured. But once they actually examined the bald eagle at a zoo in Springfield, Missouri, they discovered that the eagle was not injured at all. Instead, it had engorged itself on a raccoon and, in fact, was temporarily, is their words, too fat to fly. But once it was given time to digest the raccoon more fully, it was able to take off and return to the wild under its own power. Come on. Is there nothing more American than being unable to do something simple and routine because you overate? That, my friends, is America. A new report has come out about NVIDIA. They're a company that makes semiconductor chips that are used to power AI technology. It's found, according to this report, that where they spoke to several current and former NVIDIA employees, they say that employees are expected to stay at their desk 7 days a week and often until 2 a.m. Now, you might be thinking, why wouldn't they just leave if that is the expectation? Because the payout to these workers is so great with the stocks that they are offered. NVIDIA is worth so much right now that if you can stick it out for a little while, you basically are guaranteed to become a millionaire. I mean, I think it's crazy because, one, if you're working 7 days a week and until 2 a.m., what are you even going to do with that money? You have no time to spend it. You're stuck at work all the time. Two, I don't know at what kind of company you could have something to do that's worthwhile 7 days a week until 2 a.m. But three, it also makes me kind of want to check in on my Robinhood. Do I have anything good in there? Do I have NVIDIA? $15 is what's in my Robinhood account. Here's a sentence I never thought I would say. Our U.S. military is running out of pants. Specifically, the U.S. Navy just does not have enough pants to meet demand. This is according to a report from military.com, where they found that the Navy's global pants supply is currently only at 13%. They don't have nearly enough pants as they need. The problem is apparently the supplier of the pants just has not been able to keep up with the demand that the Navy is putting on them. And so they just, supply chain, whatever, they're making up excuses. But the company that provides the pants for our servicemen and women in the Navy has been dropping the ball. And therefore, our military, our Navy, is going pantsless. This is ridiculous. Can you imagine having a $200 billion budget and you can't even get pants on? This is, send in your bad pants jokes to 8772 RadioU. I want to see some of these. Being caught with our pants down, flying by the seat of our pants, etc., etc. The question is, what is something you do that makes you feel rich when you get to do it? This comes after a report from Charles Schwab. They ask this every year. They ask Americans, how much money would you need to feel wealthy? This year, the answer is $2.5 million, which is so high. Most of us will never have that. But there are things we can do to feel wealthy, even if we don't have the money to feel wealthy. Looking at some of the answers coming through here on the Hudson Hotline. Philip says, not having to check or recall my current bank balance before I take myself or others out to eat. It's nice basing your diet on what you'd like to eat instead of what you have to fit into a very limited budget. Isn't that so true? Not only not having to check when you take yourself out, but being able to take anybody else out, especially that's not just a date. Like maybe it's just you and a friend and you can offer to pay. It feels so good. That's a great answer. Jonathan says, when the barber puts that hot lotion towel on the back of your neck after a good cut. Yes. Jonathan, I'm at the point where just going to get my haircut makes me feel like a millionaire. 8772 RadioU. What is something that you can do that makes you feel like a millionaire even though you aren't? Regina says, this is great. When my royal blue Honda Civic Sport is freshly cleaned, I feel kind of rich. It's a beautiful car. It's such a simple thing that you can do to make yourself feel so much better. It's just to spend that couple bucks to get your car cleaned, to go through the car wash. It's an experience. I don't think any millionaire is out there going, yeah, I just love when I get to drive through the drive-through car wash. But when you do it, when you're not rich, it feels so good. Grace says, I feel like cash money when I get new animals. That's one of those things where, it's partly you feel good because you just are able to afford it. And then two, like the feeling that having an animal gives you. It's just, it just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It's not just a money rich thing. It's just like you have a rich life. That's beautiful. Izzy, I like this one because it's so ridiculous. Izzy says, I pay $10 extra for VIP seats to the comedy club about 2 to 3 times a year. I don't have to wait in line. There's always seats in the front row. And it's only $10. I used to think they were so much more expensive until I checked. And now I can be fancy even though I'm poor. It's such a simple answer. But sometimes it is. It's just not just having the thing, but paying a little extra to have the little nicer thing makes you feel so much richer. And Susanna sums up, actually, I think, the feeling of what I imagine being rich like all the time. Susanna says, buying what I want in a coffee shop without having to think about how much it costs. It's not just a coffee shop. If you could just go to a store, go through life, go on a trip, just like all the things you could do. And for me, every single thing I do in life, you have to think, okay, how much does this cost? I think being rich is just simply being able to say, I don't care how much it costs. Don't even tell me. I don't need to know. Today's food fight was not supposed to happen. There's been so many things standing in the way, but NayNay and I have found a way to make it happen. First of all, NayNay, you're sick.
I am sick, but it's time to take a lick of whatever this food fight is.
He said he tried to call in. I said, NayNay, no, we're doing a food fight. You need to be in the building. You need to come in here. And I said, NayNay, would it change your mind if I told you we're doing Chick-fil-A Food Fight?
I had to come in, dude. Chick-fil-A. That's like the one thing you would have got me in for. The one thing. Because Chick-fil-A never disappoints.
Do you happen to know, then, being a Chick-fil-A fan, what the new menu items at Chick-fil-A are?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
And I go there once a week, too. So you think I would. You would think I would, but I am very, very, my brain is so foggy right now. I can't think of a single thing.
All right. Well, maybe some of these snacks from Chick-fil-A will clear it up a little bit.
I hope so. All
right. I've got first. I'm going to taste this.
Oh, we're not even gonna say what it is.
I don't want you to know before you taste any of these if you don't know.
Okay, well, I
only got one of each thing because you're sick.
I'm getting my own straw.
I figured you probably wouldn't want much.
I'm putting my own straw in here because I don't want to, spread germs.
Yeah. Oh, no, now that you've drank it, though, even though you used your own straw, nobody else can have that. You know what that is?
Is it like chocolate some?
No. Not that I know.
This is coffee.
It is coffee.
Oh, gosh.
That is the banana frosted coffee from Chick-fil-A.
Guys,
what do you think? I'm going to get rid of this straw and burn it with fire so that I don't
burn that with fire. Guys, I don't like coffee, but Chick-fil-A gets a pass. Chick-fil-A always gets a pass.
I don't know why you would put banana in coffee. To me, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
It sounds like a flavor that could work.
But if you like banana, like that it kind of melds well.
I'm a bad person to gauge though because I don't drink coffee. Like I could taste it a little bit, but I'm a bad person to gauge that with. So as Hudson tries the next, because apparently there's 2 new milkshakes at Chick-fil-A.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. I don't know if this is my favorite, but it's got some fun crunch.
It's not coffee though, is it?
It's not coffee.
Okay.
It's got some fun crunch.
You didn't eat the cherry that's sitting inside this thing?
Do you do that?
I'm not a cherry guy.
Me neither.
They do you want the cherry? No, thank you. You can have it. You can eat it behind my back while you want.
All right, so we had the banana frosted coffee, which gets a passing grade if you're really into banana. It could be for you. You like that?
We found a winner here, guys.
Is that cured what ails you?
That one's mine.
You're not going to finish it?
I'll be honest, man. If I wasn't sick, I probably would have more of it. I'm just like trying to keep myself... Man, I might throw up.
Right, you know what this was?
Right back in that cup.
You know what this is?
What is it?
This is the banana pudding milkshake. It's new, but they had it 13 years ago.
I did taste the banana part in it. Banana pudding. I could see myself actually go and get that. Like that would be a type of milkshake that I would get. Right now, they have the chocolate, strawberry, the vanilla. I'm also more of a frosted lemonade kind of guy, too.
Oh, yeah.
So it really just depends on what I'm kind of feeling right now. During the summers, you can see me get more of the frosted lemonade type stuff. But as we get into the little colder months, I don't mind having something that's a little bit colder. So the milkshake's on point.
Thank you for stalling. I've cleaned up all of the mess that I made by disposing of your infected straw.
Yep,
I don't really care for banana as much. And I know this is not in it, but it does have a little hint to me of coconut, which I don't like. So, I mean, it's fine. I really don't prefer that. Did you know that's the first time they're selling this in 13 years?
13 years? I didn't even know they had sold it at all. So you tell me 13. How old was I 13 years ago?
We were amoebas at that time, I think.
I don't even think I was.
I hadn't even been conceived yet.
I wasn't even a teenager 13 years ago. My goodness.
So, okay, I've got one more thing for you. Did you know Chick-fil-A has a new sandwich?
They have a new sandwich too? How many new things did we get?
3. This is it. This is the last one.
I'm excited. I'm not upset at all.
Open wide.
Open wide. Go.
Dive in. You notice I did not give you a very big piece. And also, I hope you have napkins because this one can get a little sticky, a little messy. What do you think?
Not bad.
You're doing surprisingly okay with this.
This is not bad.
I'm really shocked.
I don't even know what kind to do.
I thought you would spit this out. I thought you'd be rolling around on the floor. I thought I would have to do like an exorcism with you right now.
That would be bad because I'm sick right now. What kind is it?
This is the new honey pepper pimento sandwich.
Honey pepper pimento.
So pepper, so spicy. You know what pimento is?
Okay, pepper's not that spicy. Come on.
Like peppers, like a pepper, not like black pepper.
Oh.
So like there's peppers in it. There's jalapenos. And this is what's new because they did this last year. But this is what's new about it is they now allow you to get it on a spicy chicken sandwich. And so I got you the spicy version. And so all in all, if anybody out there is thinking like, I hope it's spicier than last time, it wasn't spicy enough to make NayNay even blink twice. So
it's also Chick-fil-A. I'll never speak down on Chick-fil-A. They will always be number one. They will stay number one. Ain't nothing never going to top it.
I see. This is all an act. And as soon as I turn the mics off, NayNay's going to start crying and pouring water on his head.
That's mainly because I'm sick, but sure, that part too.
Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.